A farewell party took place for a Flamengo star who is on his way to West Ham. Opta makes a surprising prediction about West Ham's fate in the Premier League. Welcome back, fellow Hammers. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and share the video if you can. It all helps keep the claret and blue spirit strong. West Ham United's situation has taken on new contours after it became clear that a supposed farewell party, held by a player, initially interpreted as a sign of an imminent transfer, has no direct connection to the London club. The speculation emerged at the same time as growing expectation over a possible sale of Lucas Paqueta to Flamengo, in a deal valued at around £38 million, a move that could trigger significant changes within the Hammers' squad. Paqueta's absence from West Ham's last two fixtures, important victories against QPR and Tottenham Spurs, fueled rumors about his future. Officially, his camp has pointed to a back problem, but behind the scenes, the picture appears different. There is a clear push for the midfielder to return to his boyhood club Flamengo, a desire that has intensified in recent weeks and begun to directly influence negotiations between the clubs. The internal atmosphere became even more strained when West Ham accused Paqueta of acting inconsistently, raising doubts about his stance as he seeks a move away from the London stadium. The player has stopped training regularly with the main group, and there is a growing sense that his journey in claret and blue may already be over, despite decisive moments since his arrival in the Premier League. Meanwhile, on the pitch, the team showed resilience by beating Tottenham 2-1 away from home, a result that reignited hope in the fight for survival. That victory, notably achieved without Paqueta, reinforced the feeling that head coach Nuno Espirito Santo is already starting to envision a new tactical structure should the Brazilian's departure be confirmed in the coming days. It is within this context that the name Gonzalo Plata emerged, the Ecuadorian forward from Flamengo being mentioned as a possible replacement. Reports from Brazil suggested the player had hosted a large party interpreted as a farewell, with West Ham cited as a potential destination. The rumor gained traction after being linked to private conversations between Paqueta and Flamengo manager Felipe Luis, described as decisive in accelerating the midfielder's return to Rio de Janeiro. More recent information, however, urges caution. While Plata is seen as an intense and versatile player with attributes that could suit English football, sources close to West Ham have played down any concrete progress. The internal view is that Flamengo have no intention of selling him at this stage, and that the party was merely a personal event unrelated to a transfer. The player himself has reportedly just purchased another house in the same area of Brazil, suggesting stability rather than an imminent move abroad. As a result, although Gonzalo Plata's name continues to circulate because of Paqueta's situation, reality points towards a less immediate outcome. West Ham remain alert in the market, aware they may need to reinvent themselves without one of their key talents, but without being drawn into noise that, so far, has not translated into genuine negotiations. Before we carry on, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. This is really important because it strengthens the claret and blue family, making our West Ham bigger and stronger every day. West Ham United were handed a significant boost in their fight for survival after beating Tottenham Hotspur 2-1 in the Premier League. The result eased some of the pressure on Nuno Espirito Santo, who went into the match under intense scrutiny, but the bigger picture remains challenging, with the Hammers still sitting 5 points adrift of safety and aware that a huge effort is still required. Complicating matters further, Nottingham Forest, who sit in 17th place, picked up an unexpected point against league leaders Arsenal later the same day, underlining just how tight and unforgiving the relegation battle has become. Every result elsewhere now carries added weight for West Ham as the margin for error continues to shrink. After the weekend's fixtures, Opta's supercomputer analyzed form and remaining fixtures to project how the relegation fight may unfold. According to the data, Wolves, rooted to the bottom of the table, have a near-impossible task with less than 1% chance of staying up, while Burnley are given only a small possibility of survival. For West Ham supporters, the outlook is uncomfortable. Opta predict the Hammers will finish the season in 18th place, assigning them just over 16% chance of avoiding relegation. Their projected total of 33 points falls well short of Nottingham Forest's expected 41, highlighting the scale of the challenge still facing the club. Despite those bleak projections, Nuno Espirito Santo struck a defiant and positive tone after the win in North London. He praised his side's strong start, organization, and intensity, emphasizing how they pressed Spurs and limited their freedom. The head coach also highlighted the quality of West Ham's football in the first half, insisting belief remains strong within the squad. Nuno stressed that survival will come down to hard work, commitment, and unity, expressing pride in how the players have handled the pressure. He acknowledged the situation is tough, but insisted the group are determined to turn things around and fight until the end of the season. Attention also turned to the transfer market, with Nuno offering a guarded update on Callum Wilson's future at the London Stadium. He stopped short of confirming the striker's stay, reiterating that the club remain active in the market as they look to rebalance the squad, while making clear that every player currently at the club is expected to contribute. Before we carry on, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. This is really important because it strengthens the Claret and Blue family, making our West Ham bigger and stronger every day. There are moments when West Ham United seem to exist between two parallel worlds. In one, cold mathematics points to low probabilities, bleak projections, and a future that feels unsettling. In the other, there is the weight of the shirt, the emotional response of the squad, and the sense that, even under immense pressure, the club refuses to accept the fate being predicted. The two stories reflect that tension perfectly, a West Ham squeezed by numbers, markets, and off-field noise, yet still driven by an identity that has never surrendered easily. The victory over Tottenham was not just about 3 points, it was symbolic. A reminder that, even without Lucas Paqueta, the team can still compete, stay organized, and find collective solutions when the moment demands sacrifice. That is why Nuno Espirito Santo's words carry such weight now. This is not about denying the league table, but about reinforcing the belief that survival depends less on external projections and more on attitude, commitment, and clarity on the pitch. At the same time, the potential departure of Paqueta exposes a delicate transition. He embodies flair, creativity, and personality, yet his situation highlights a breakdown that goes beyond football itself. When a player begins to drift emotionally from a club, separation often becomes inevitable. For West Ham, the challenge is not simply replacing a name, but redefining a structure. The side will need to compensate for any loss of individual quality with intensity, organization, and precise decisions in the transfer market. This is where the narratives truly connect. The club are moving to rebalance the squad, letting go of players who were no longer central to the project and creating financial and sporting room for new ideas. These exits may not immediately change results on the pitch, but they signal a clear attempt to reset internally. West Ham understand that survival may depend on being more functional than flamboyant, more solid than spectacular. Meanwhile, Opta's numbers act like an uncomfortable mirror. They do not decide destiny, but they apply psychological pressure. Being projected as an 18th place finisher puts the club on constant alert. Yet, it can also serve as fuel. English football history is full of teams who defied statistics when belief was at its lowest. For a club built on resilience and working-class roots like West Ham, this kind of battle is nothing new. The reshaping of the squad, the competitive display against Tottenham, and the manager's public message of belief all suggest the club are choosing to fight with the tools they have. There is no room for illusion, but there is no surrender either. Every decision, every exit, and every potential arrival carries the weight of an entire season. West Ham are not only trying to avoid relegation, they are defending their relevance, their stability, and their pride in remaining among English football's elite. In the end, what links all these threads is a sense of crossroads. The club know mistakes cannot be afforded. They know the market, the dressing room, and the pitch must move in the same direction. And above all, they know survival will not be gifted, but earned. If the numbers say it is unlikely, then West Ham's response must be emotional, collective, and relentless, just as their history has always demanded in the hardest moments. We'll wrap it up here for now. If you like the content, give it a thumbs up, share it around, and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Thanks for watching. See you soon.